Maddie, I've lost track of time here. How many years have you been an assistant now with Coach Slominski?
This is my second year.
Second year, and you've had some time to coach at different levels. Talk about your coaching experience for a moment, if you would. Where have you been, and other than Jewel?
Well, at the very beginning, I coached girls youth basketball for a little team called the Metro Stars. And then, funny enough, most of them are now sophomores, juniors in high school. And I had the opportunity to coach a really good player who we're actually recruiting right now at St. Pius.
I was going to say they're about recruiting age now, aren't they?
Yeah, so it's kind of funny to see them come full circle, and then a few of them, get a look at to hopefully coach again soon. But I was, before Jewel, I was at St. Pius for 2 years as an assistant there, and then Jill gave me a really good opportunity to come to Jewel.
In coaching, it seems to me like you have to pay your dues. And I think you're kind of, starting with the youth team, you're kind of doing that. And what is your career aspiration as far as coaching?
Ideally, I would like to someday kind of run my own program.
At what level?
Right now, my idea is at the collegiate level. As far as division, NCAA, and AI, I don't really have a preference one way or the other right now, kind of wherever there's an opportunity. But right now, I'm just learning a lot and getting to know things that I like, things that I don't like, things that work, and so it's been really great. It's been a lot of fun.
Maddie Mason is our guest here at halftime. One thing Jill says about you is that she's kind of put you in charge of the defense, and that you do a great job with that. And what's your overall defensive philosophy? Is that a fair question?
Yeah, no, I am very big man-to-man. Typically, I want to get up full court man-to-man pressure, but just making sure that my system fits my players more so than my players fit my system. Because even this year I had an idea about, maybe we'll try this, we'll look at these looks defensively, and it just wasn't what was best for us. So I kind of had to go plan B, maybe a little plan C. And so I think the girls have really bought in lately. We're holding teams to sometimes 40-some points, 50-some points, and those are good numbers. We just need to start figuring out a way to score a little bit.
Sure. Well, I can kind of understand that at the beginning of the year we think we're going to do this kind of an idea, but you've had to, from game to game, adjust within a game, and that's another skill set right there.
Yeah, just figuring out which matchups are the best for us in certain situations. It's a lot of thinking on your feet, but we have a good group over there on the sideline with Larry and Jill, and then myself. We just kind of collaborate a little bit and get it figured out real quick.
Yeah, as you said, it's your second year. Larry Williams comes into the mix this year, and how has that all worked out?
I think it's been really great. So he obviously has a lot of experience as a head coach, and he had experience as an assistant with Jill before then. So I'm just having him come in, and he's a teacher. He really breaks things down and goes for the little pieces, and I think it balances out because Jill is more big picture, and I'm somewhere in between, so we kind of cover our bases that way and are just learning as we go, I guess.
Well, I guess so. Maddie Mason, our guest here at halftime, learning as we go. There's a lot to be said for that, and this has been a year in which things maybe haven't gone like we thought they would in the preseason. I'm talking about offense here, which is not necessarily your specialty, but your defense have had to cover some of that.
Yeah, it's nice to play well offensively, but there are just some nights and some stretches where you won't hit shots that you normally do, but in my opinion, there's no excuse to not play good defense. So keeps you in games. Yeah,
it's that old adage that you may not shoot the ball well on any given night, but your defense needs to be constant.
Right.
And yet, for your defense, and like we talked about adjustments, you've played some man this year, a lot of man this year, but you've gone to zone a little bit this year, and you haven't pressed the way the Cardinals have in the past, based out of, I'm assuming, necessity of the moment.
Yeah, we have some length with some of our players, but just as far as foot speed and stuff like that, sometimes it's better for us in terms of matchups to not get up and press the, what was the track athlete in high school, and just kind of fall back and just make sure that we cover from the inside out.
Assistant Coach Maddie Mason is our guest. When you go recruiting, when you look at kids, and you mentioned that earlier, do you look for the kid that can play full court defense, or are you looking for maybe a complete player?
When I recruit, I have a tendency to watch them defensively first, but for sure we're looking for the all-around player, just somebody who can handle the ball, make good passes, and make a few shots, and then get up and guard and put pressure on the ball when they need to.
I know we probably beat this to death, but I don't think we've ever quite seen anybody quite like Maddie Nelson. And that's going to be tough to replace next year because we can have the stats on her, and those are mostly offensive stats. But what does she do defensively that maybe we're not seeing in the stats?
Defensively for us, she, I think, gives us a lot of energy and a lot of, I think she makes the other players feel comfortable when she's in there. She makes me feel comfortable defensively when she's in there. And
well, that must be all the time because she never comes out.
So it's just kind of having that constant that, yeah, she can get up and pressure. She can keep kids in front of her more than, the average kid can, which she's a freak athlete. So she's going to do that for you. But just that constant calm kind of on defense is how I feel when she's out there. So I assume that's how kind of the players feel.
Maddie, as you go through your coaching career, and we talked about paying dues, and at this level, I think you're kind of doing that. You have to do more than just coach basketball. I know you've got at least one other job, and so it's not like you see on TV where you're going out and your whole day is spent coaching. And that's maybe one of the hidden things that people don't realize about our level is that, you have to sacrifice an awful lot to be on the bench, to come to Indianapolis.
Yes. So during the day, I work at a middle school in Kansas City, Kansas City International Academy, and I work with 6th through 8th graders, a lot of refugee students, a lot of refugee families. So it's really been a unique experience, and I was lucky enough to kind of be in the right place at the right time and know the right people to get it. So it helps me pay the bills a little bit, and it kind of teaches me how to be a better coach, because I'm constantly working with kids trying to figure out how are they going to learn it best, what's going to click for them. And so that's kind of what you're doing when you're coaching too.
Right.
Just how can I get my message across so that my players understand what I need them to do.
Yeah. Well, you were a player here for us, and when you go from playing to coaching, you start looking at things like that. And tell me about that experience for you. How have you changed?
I wish that I had coached before I played. I kind of think if you, not necessarily that you have to, but it would be kind of cool if there was a program or something in place where before you come play college basketball, you coach for a year.
You're the first person I think that's ever said that, and that makes a lot of sense to me. It really does.
It just kind of puts things into perspective and things that you might not realize coaches are thinking or dealing with or having to figure out. When you're over here on the sideline as the coach, having been a player, you're like, oh man, yeah, I probably wouldn't have thought about that when I was playing, but
yeah. A lot of stuff we could talk about, but we're just about out of time. But I want to thank you. It's been wonderful talking to you. It's always good. You're so shy.
It's
hard to get you to
Thanks
talk.
for having me.
It's been good, and boy, as we push toward the playoffs, that defense is going to be a big part of it.
Yeah, let's play some good D tonight and put a few shots in.
Thanks, Maddie. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we'll be back with more from Indianapolis after this.